What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another episode of The Road to Glory. Thank you guys once again for being here. If you guys are enjoying The Road to Glory, feel free to drop a thumbs up on the video and don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you get notificated when it go live on the videos. We have done some stuff and things. As you'll see here, we sold 2 items because I'm really good at selling items. That's one of my best things that I do. And we've completed 3 objectives. Ooh, what objectives were they? We've got the Swap Deals Player Daily objective. I will show the gameplay for that in today's video after the FUT Champs games. So we're going to have 9 or 10. 9 or 10 FUT Champs games. And then 3, 4 or 5 FUT Rivals games. So lots of gameplay in today's episode. So we've done the Swap Deals Player. A little bit of a weird one for EA this. Like, obviously, you know, I had some debates with people on Twitter about these FUT Swap players. And generally speaking, I think they're quite underwhelming. And what people said was, it's easy for you to say, because you've obviously got an incredible team, this is for the casuals. And I take that point on board and can see that, hey, yeah, if a casual player plays this game, they might not have even 20, 30,000 coins to get like a Martial or a Rashford, so they might want that El Shaarawy. However, to get them, specifically Lallana and El Shaarawy, or El Shaarawy, I apologise, I just always get his name wrong, they got to get 12 of 14 tokens. Already token 1 is a 24-hour, 1-day daily objective during FUT Champs where you have to win 3 FUT Rivals games. Now, for a casual, that's a token that they're probably not going to be able to pick up, right? So they've already missed out on 1 token, and if they weren't around and didn't notice and didn't recognize it was a daily objective, then they're going to miss out on that one, which is just sad in the first instance. So that's there, right? So I'm going to send Burnich into the club. I like the card design for what it's worth. I love the card designs in general. We've also got the Play 11 thing done. Squad fitness card. Pop that in, no problem at all. And Finesse. Score 10 goals using a Finesse shot. You could probably do that. Like, you need to score 10 goals using a Finesse shot. You could probably score all 10 goals in one goal. We get the FCKY, or KV, should I say, home kit. Not a kit I'm going to wear. Oktoberfest, I'm still 0 for 7. Assist 7 goals using Bundesliga players for the week. I will just go into squad battles, go on beginner, bang, job done. And ones to watch is score a Serie A player in 5 separate rivals wins. I'll get that done over the course of this week for sure. We've already got 3 out of 5, which is great. World class is score 8 goals using a 1 to watch player. So once we do get that Verdi, I will again go and score the goals with him. But for a 2-player pack, I think this is one of those objectives that's extremely, extremely tricky and difficult for a lot of people for very, very little. You know, like a 2 players pack has a value of about 3,000 coins, 3,500 coins. But because they're untradeable and it's only 2 players, if you get lucky, it could be really great. But the general chances are you're going to get pretty much nothing. So you're going to get a couple of untradeable players, and that's it for scoring 8 goals using a ones to watch player on world-class difficulty. Some people just struggle in general to score on world-class difficulty, let alone scoring 8, and then let alone scoring 8 with a specific player card type. And then good deals is buy 7 players for 900 coins for a silver pack. I don't know if I want to do that. I might try and get someone that's usually like 1,500 coins, snipe them for 900, and then just sell them on and make a bit of profit whilst also completing that. So we've got that one that we can get down, no problem at all. So obviously, as the title explains, guys, this is a new squad builder or a new squad. It's not really like a brand new squad. I haven't like made dramatic changes. What I've done is I've removed 2 players, 2 or 3 players. I've removed Oscar De Marcos, and I have removed Ander Herrera. Where is Ander Herrera in my club? I removed Ander Herrera as well. And I put in Florenzi and Nzonzi. This does mean that Varane has gone down to 8 chemistry, but I had to do it. As I explained in yesterday's video, one of the biggest issues for me was that Ander Herrera and Fred were just too weak. You know, 61 strength for Fred, with really bad like slide tackle as well. And then Ander Herrera is 67 strength. And they just kept getting bullied. So I picked up Nzonzi, 51 pace, sure, but 93 strength. Really good defensive stats, good aggression. I've also improved his passing a lot, so his passing vision is very, very good now. And as you can see there, although he's medium, not quite medium-high, which I would prefer, he's 6'5". Since I've added him into the team, the number of wins I've got in FUT Champs has gone up exponentially. It is honestly, guys, and this really does lend into what I was saying in yesterday's video, having a really tall, strong, powerful CDM is imperative in the game this year. Even though he has 51 pace, and I didn't put a pace card on him, he's still changed my team so much for the better. We also put Florenzi in because he's strong links, 4-star skill moves, which is great. We've given him the shadow. He does need that defensive boost, but good stam on him. He's got really well-rounded stats outside of that as well. So, you know, it's sad to take out DeMarcos because I actually think this DeMarcos card is really, really good. It just had to be done to get Florenzi and Nzonzi in. Obviously, if we could pack a Manolas, that would be ideal. I would happily sell Varane as well. His price is probably only going to go down 170. 170. He's such a good card. I would, if I got Manolas, I would genuinely sell Varane and take those coins so that we can complete a future SBC and just put Manolas in there, or Benatia, or basically any Calcio A Serie A centre back can go in there for me now. I've started changing things up in game as well a little bit, and I'm happy with that. You know, I'm happy with how I'm playing right now. We started off really poorly. We actually started off really well, funnily enough. So Ibrahimovic, you're about to see some good goals from him. Yeah, we started off 6 wins, 5-0. I then had like mini collapse, went to 6-4 after our first 10 games, which isn't the best. We pulled it back to 8-4, which you saw in yesterday's episode, and then for today's episode, lots more wins. I'm not going to ruin the complete record for you guys, but yeah, that is the squad. David Trezeguet now, I think over 100 games. Yeah, 105 games, 95 goals, 37 assists. But that is the squad, guys. Let's go and see some gameplay and get some comments from you guys and get into the action. Okay, guys, as we go into the gameplay, I actually cut out the Rivals games just because otherwise the video would have been extremely long and we didn't want that. So to start with, we got unnamed user. He says, I think you focus on the meta too much. You aren't competing for pro events. Player like Trezeguet should play every match in a series like this, regardless of, say, a Depay who fits the meta more. Obviously, the best player, use the best players you can, but trying to have the most meta team possible isn't necessary. Whether you get Gold 1 or Elite 2, your rewards are still similar and not too different. Besides, you can't buy players anyway, so Gold 1 could be better. Pressuring yourself to do well isn't necessary because we don't watch you for your incredible gameplay. What? Excuse me? I'm insane at FIFA? Even if you get Gold 3, it's not that deep. With squad battles and rivals, you're getting a lot of packs during the weeks anyways. Yeah, I mean, I do take your point on board completely. I do think, you know, the whole point of this series was to use other types of players, ultimately. However, in previous years, funnily enough, people have said to me to get away from using players that I like and to use the meta. I guess, you know, obviously we get a lot of people watching this series specifically this year, you know, well over 100,000 people per episode. Shout out to you guys, by the way. So, lots of people are going to have different opinions and ideas on what I should do and where I should go. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that agree with you that think I should just use these players, just have fun with who I've got and let the results kind of filter themselves out throughout the course of the year. There's also probably a lot of players that are like, well, no, use Depay, you know, or a meta player, get a better result, get better packs, get better players, and go from there. So I can see it from both perspectives. With regards to squad battles, something I want to talk about a little bit deeper last episode, and I can't remember if I did not, so apologies if I'm going over old ground here, so I'm going to make it quite quick. I'm basically stopping squad battles pretty much entirely just because it makes me a worse player online. Last year it made me a much better player online because I learned a lot of good techniques, and specifically through shooting and attacking against AI. This year the AI on squad battles plays way different compared to the AI online when somebody's when you're against somebody, that it actually harms me as a player. So I'm going to be stopping squad battles so I can focus on rivals specifically. And then in terms of rivals, I tweeted out yesterday, and again, there were some people that agreed with me and some people that disagreed, and let me know in the comment section what you guys think. I tweeted out yesterday that I'm not moving up to Division 3 on purpose. I got to within like 4 ranking points of Division 3. I was drawing a game quite late on, and I ended up letting the guy win. You probably go, oh, let him win. I genuinely let people win last night because Division 4 rank 1 rewards are better than Division 3 rank 1 rewards. And that's absurd. And then when you go to Division 2, Division 4 rank 1 rewards are also better than Division 2 rank 2 and Division 2 rank 1. The only thing that improves on Division 4 rank 1 is Division 2 rank 3. So the rewards are really, really backwards in FUT Rivals the higher you go. I don't get it. I don't understand why. But I would be doing myself. I actually want to go and get my tweet. I would be doing the series a disservice in terms of packs by going up a division, right? And so for some people, they said you shouldn't do that because what you want to do is test yourself against players of your own ability to learn better and play better, and I do agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. You know, I said yesterday I want to play against better players. I want to play against players above my caliber, so I can learn a little bit more, get a little bit better at this game, and hopefully come out on top in FUT Champs. However, the disparity in the rewards is so much so to the point where I just kind of think like, what's the point? So, for example, Division 4 rank 1 gives you a mega pack, a 50k rare players pack, and a prime gold players pack. Division 3 rank 1 also gives you a mega pack and a prime gold players pack, but instead of a 50k pack of all those, 12 rare shiny gold players, you get a rare gold pack. And that is genuinely one of the most unbelievably worst packs in the game. The rare, like I actually said, because I had my what's it called? Draft rewards. I've won the draft 4 times on this account already out of 5 drafts, and on 3 of those occasions I've got 2 rare gold packs and 1 7.5k pack, and it's just been really bad. And somebody said, you're complaining after getting 57.5k's worth of packs for 15k entry. And it's not about the value of the packs, it's about the value of the pack. It's not about their actual coin value. I would genuinely rather 10 5k packs, which equals 50k value, instead of 2 rare gold packs, because they are just not worth it. So to go up a division and then to get rank 1, I will get punished. That just doesn't make sense. And then I started getting a few other people showing me a lot of stuff, and Division 2 rank 1, I mean, this is a joke and has to be an oversight by EA that they have got to change. But what's sad is they haven't even acknowledged it. Division 2 rank 1 is 2 rare mixed players packs, which is 4 golds, 4 silver, 4 bronzes, and 1 15k pack. That's it. That is literally it. And that is outrageous. So I'm at the point right now in FUT Rivals where I'm actually purposely not going up a division because it would hamper the series. But yeah, in terms of squad battles, I might still get like silvers or maybe low golds or whatever in squad battles because of doing weekly objectives and things like that. But I'm not going to be focusing on squad battles in any way, shape or form. I am going to be focusing on rivals and champs only and just trying to improve as a player this year. And then there was another comment here from Owen Wilson, and I'm not going to draw too much attention to comments like this, but I do feel like the debates are good and it lets us all know where we stand on certain subjects. So Owen says, Nep, this whole video feels like you're just looking ahead of time, picturing yourself messing up your remaining 20 games and needing a reason for doing so. Just accept you have a great squad that is better than a majority and face that if you win or lose, it will probably be down to who is a better player and who took their chances in the game rather than any supposed weaknesses in your team. No one's expecting anything from you in FUT Champs, so don't bother setting targets, making excuses or anything like that. Just play the games and see how you do and then discuss areas that you'd like to improve your team in once the 30 games are over. And there was a lot of people that kind of had this same sentiment, but not in as nice words as Owen. So first of all, Owen, thank you for putting your point across in a constructive manner. I love comments like this because it allows me to explain, or not explain, but like debate with you my opinion and my perspective versus yours without you attacking me and then me just getting super defensive, because I know I can get like that. But yeah, so thank you for actually putting it in a constructive way. But so my argument point, my counterpoint here is that why not look at my team, notice weak points during the 30 games? Why wait until the end of the 30 games? For example, right here, you can see I'm picking up win on win on win right now. And if I had kept Herrera and Fred instead of bringing in Nzonzi, I might not have been winning all these games. I could have been losing some of these games, because Nzonzi made a massive difference to my squad. He really did. And if I can get an even better CDM, you know, with a lot more pace and better work rates, I again feel like it will be a big improvement to my squad. I'm not saying my team's bad. You know, I think people just kind of really took out of context what I was saying. I'm not saying individually my players are phenomenal. And, you know, you guys are right. I've got players that some of you guys can't even dream of, and you've spent money on the game. And so on and so forth. Like, a lot of my Champions League players are actually extinct. I know for a fact that Sané is really expensive, if not extinct. Fred is really expensive, if not extinct. De Bruyne is like a 600k card. People just don't get these cards. You know what I mean? I get that completely. So in that sense, you're right. You know, individually my players are great, but I think it would be foolish of me to ignore the kind of negative areas in my team and just hope that I get better after the 30 games, instead of addressing the concerns through the games and improving my results outside of that, you know. So but I do appreciate your point. And one issue that I have, and a lot of guys said in the comment section, you know, a lot of people have said, like, it doesn't matter where you place, you know, it doesn't matter if you get gold 3 or elite 3, you know, that, like, what matters is that we have fun on this journey and enjoy this series. And I get so, like, as a YouTuber, as a content creator, you look at patterns in the scene. You know, you look at what bleeds and breeds success, and what bleeds and breeds failure. And specifically in some other gaming communities, but not so much so in FIFA, being good at the game you play as a content creator is paramount to success. And although I've been successful in FIFA over the past few years, well, since I've been playing FIFA as a content creator in general, I put so much pressure on myself because I feel like I want to give you guys the best content. And obviously for me, getting Elite 1 rewards will be a way bigger video and way better content in general than getting gold 3 rewards. So, you know, I know a lot of people are just here for the journey, but that's just how I feel about it, you know. And I wish I could just turn it off and be like, who cares? I just can't. Right now, like, I played the last game that you see in this video. I played it and my nerves were so frayed after the game, I had to just turn my console off. I was just like, I just need a break. And the beautiful thing about this weekend is now, and just Weekend League in general, is that there's only 30 games, so I can afford to turn it off, which is great. There was one more comment that I do again want to address that is not put to me in the right way, and explain why. So Aussie Sport says, you only play FIFA every single day for years, and you think you won't get out of past gold, really? Having packed already an icon in KDB, Jesus, stop trying to undersell and actually try to improve. And that whole video was me explaining how I will improve. And I don't understand this kind of outlook, because most of that video was me saying, these are my problems, this is how I want to fix it. And we was making the mistakes in those games. I was like, there was 1 or 2 games in there that I was like, damn, man, I smashed those guys and I just didn't take my chances. That's that's on me for not finishing my chances, really. But so many of those games, I'm literally looking at them and analysing them and judging them and thinking to myself, how can I improve? Where can I improve? What can I improve? So I am looking to improve. And then somebody rebutted to him, and he responded to that person saying, I've been watching Nep a long time now, and it actually seems like he's been getting progressively worse the past, say, 3 or so years. What are you talking about? It's FIFA 17, I got Elite 1 time. FIFA 18, I got Elite 1 twice, and I finished in top 100 on squad battles. Yeah, it's only squad battles, but squad battles multiple times. If anything, I've been getting better every year because the game's more competitive. Like, if I took this competitive area into, say, FIFA 11 or FIFA 12, I probably would never have lost unless I came up against an insane player. So to say that I've been getting progressively worse over the past 3 or so years makes me feel like you've not only watching me for a long time, but just haven't been watching me at all. Because if you watch me and my gameplay at all, you'll see that I haven't been getting progressively worse. So yeah, when people go at me like that, it just makes me want to kind of just block you from the channel and not even acknowledge you, because you're not putting your point across very well, and it's just not how it should be. You know what I mean? We then get one from Mini Whip, and he says, Nep, you don't understand form. He says it goes off the last 5 games you played. So let's say in a scenario where a guy that stream sniped you had his last 5 games as loss-loss, win-win-win, and you had your last 5 games as loss-loss, win-win-win, then it's a fair match. In this case, both players would be a +1 form, because from the 5 games they are +1 positive. Don't see how you would think it would be fair to play someone who is 7-3, 10-6, 15-11, 4-0, 5-1 or 6-2 like you said. If you are 6-2, then you have won 75% of your games, whereas someone who is 15-11 has won just over 50%. Not saying EA's way of doing it is right, just saying you've not understood what it is they said in the first place. So I want to take you to Dunans and Dragons' Twitter account, where we had a discussion about this. He is a member of the EA team. He works on FIFA for EA. And I asked him the exact question. I have one question for Dunans and Dragons regarding form in Weekend League. If I'm 20-3 and lose to become 20-4, do I now have 0 form or 16 form at this point? Is there a max form, and how far does form stray in matchmaking? For example, can a +5 theoretically match against a +12? He says, your form is a constant stream of your results. Not over 5 games, a constant stream of your results. So for example, these are his words, by the way, not mine, his words. So for example, if you were to start the weekend by going win, loss, 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 win, 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 loss, loss, win, you would be going +1, 0, -1, -2, -3, because that's now 1 win and 4 losses, so you're -3. You would then win 4 on the spin, and you'd now be +1. You'd then lose 2 more, you'd be -1, and you'd win 1 more, and you'd essentially be at 0. So somebody responded to that and said, how far away from each other's form can you be? You won't always be able to match a +15 with a +15 and so on. So just wondering how many you'd drop, maybe a 15 versus a 13. And he says, fully detailing the matchmaking rules is not something we would do, as unfortunately people will try and game the system. But suffice to say that we have set a limit on how far apart form can be and still play. And we want to have players of a similar form playing each other. So I'm sorry to say this. I'm not even sorry to say this because it's just right. You are wrong, and I am right. That is the words from EA's mouth. So if you are, say, 9 wins and 3 losses, your form is +6. It's not over your last 5 games. It is over a constant stream of your results. And he also says in his tweets, and you can go to his Twitter account if you want to read this. He also says in his tweets that form resets at the start of every weekend league, but it is constant throughout the weekend league. So if you are 9-3, your form is +6. So at that point, you can match a 17-11, you can match a 19-13, you can match a 6-0. And then, yeah, the question then becomes about how far does the form spread? So we've now got evidence based on the guy that stream sniped me that you can at least stray 4 up or down, because for me, he was +4 higher, but for him, I was +4 lower. So if you're a +8, you could theoretically match up against a +4 or a +12. And that in itself is a big issue. Like, the whole form system is just wrong, because if you get lucky on the matchmaking spectrum and you continually match within the scope underneath your ability, you're going to win more games than you should because of that. However, if you get unlucky and you continually match against people above your spectrum, but within the form barrier, you could just lose so many games that you probably don't deserve to lose because of that. And that doesn't make sense to me. Like, let's say you're like +4, and then you lose to a +8, so you go to +3, then you lose to a +7. Now you've lost 2 games, whereas some other random guy, in fact, the guys that you've played against, that guy was +8 and he's beaten a +4. So now he's +9, and the guy that was +7 has beaten a +3. And that just, for me, that the whole mechanics of it just don't make any sense whatsoever. And in fact, I was going to end the video right here after I beat this guy, which, by the way, is awesome. But I'm going to go into Foot Champs, and we're going to have a look at the top 100, because I want to have a look and get an understanding if the people in the top 100 have actually matched people on a similar form to them. And if we can figure out just how wide the form barrier goes, because if it goes more than like 5 or 6, even 5 or 6 is just ludicrous. But if it goes more than that, that's even more ludicrous. So I will be right back. Alright guys, so we're on the account now live. I haven't played any more games than what you've seen in that video at this point either, and it is currently almost 6 PM on Sunday night. I've got 14 hours left to get through my last 5 games, last 9 games should I say. I'm actually, funnily enough, really happy with where I'm at. We're like, obviously after going 5-0, I thought, oh, okay, here we go. We could be having a banging weekend. I bottled it. I dropped loads and ended up getting to 6-4. We progressed on to 8-4, and now we're up to 16-5. So we have massively recovered. And from this point onwards, I'll be super, super disappointed if I do buckle it and don't get Gold 1. We need to go 4 wins and 5 losses for Gold 1. Alternatively, if we can manage to get 7 wins from our next 9 games, we actually might still manage to scrape into Elite 3, and that would be amazing. But already, that's where we're at. Now, I actually, just before we get into the top 100 stuff, I just want to look at, there was a comment that I didn't end up reading because we ran out of time on the video, but I do want to explain something a little bit here for you guys. People seem to think Gold 3 rewards are better than Gold 2. They thought the same last year, and last year you had more of an argument because Gold 3 gives you 2 mega packs, and a rare players pack, which is 12 guaranteed shiny gold cards, whereas Gold 2 gives you 2 rare mega packs and a rare gold pack. Now, as we've discussed, a rare gold pack is trash bags, but you get 15,000 coins more, and then the rare mega packs now this year are far better than last year because you can't get silver cards in them. So previously you would get a whole bunch of players and potentially like 3 or 4 silver cards in there, and that was terrible. Excuse me. The rare mega pack now is all gold items. I think, what is it, 36? Is it 36 items? And then all gold. And you will get, on average, 10 to 12 players per rare mega pack. Sometimes as many as 15 or 16. Sometimes as few as 8 or 9. I think actually 9 is the minimum. So you will get a minimum of 9 up towards sometimes 16 or 17. Now that, if you get the minimum, you're only 3 players away from what you would get in a 50k pack anyway. So I actually do personally believe that with the extra coins that you get and the fact that you get 2 rare mega packs, that it is better to go for Gold 2. Also, we don't know yet, and I've genuinely asked EA 4 or 5 times. I've tagged all the guys that usually respond to me, all of the community guys that usually respond to me, and I've asked the game changers if they can put in their game changer chat to get a response. We've been unable to get a response thus far. I really want to know if the 2-player pick packs that we get from Gold 3 are the exact same as the 2 that we get from Gold 2 and that we get from Gold 1. Because if they're not, that is another reason for you to want to push on to Gold 2 and Gold 1 if you've got the game spare. But if they are, then you might be the kind of player that is just genuinely chill with getting 14 wins, getting the 2-player pick packs, a 50k pack, some mega packs and some coins. So yeah, I just kind of wish EA would give us an answer on that one. Now anyway, let's have a look at the top 100. I think we have to go for the Champions channel for this. And what the Champions channel shows you is it shows you the records before the game. So, for example, these are the featured matches. This match has a plus 13 against a plus 10. And the plus 13 ended up winning. This match has a plus, plus 17 against a plus 19. See, a 3-game swing, I think, is all right. You know, if somebody's got 2 or 3 more wins than you or 2 or 3 less wins than you, or form than you, I do think that's all right. And so on that note, this one is also quite okay. You know, that's a 19 versus 17. Then we move down to a 17 versus 16. That's a good matchup. Then we've got here a really bad mismatch. What the most hilarious thing about this one is the guy that was plus 9 played a guy that was plus 24 and he won. But whether he won or lost shouldn't be the concern. The concern should be that a plus 9 played a plus 24. And so that, guys, it basically means that this whole form thing is just nonsense. Because it's obviously prioritizing something else before form. And that, again, is kind of bad in a way, because on any given weekend you could end up matching up against players well above your skill level and you could get a great return of wins, and then the next weekend you could match up against players you get bad wins if you play against players way above your skill level, and then the next weekend you could match up against players way below your skill level and get a whole bunch of wins. So I don't, it just doesn't make sense. And here we go. So that's a 22 versus a 20. That's fair. That's a 21 versus 16. That's kind of like, once you get to the level of plus 16 and plus 21, it must be hard to find other plus 16s, plus 21s that are also also playing at the same time in proximity for a good record. So when it does get to that degree, I can understand it expanding the parameters a little bit more. I don't necessarily think it's fair, but I can understand it. But this one here, I mean, the dude is plus 9. Are you telling me there was not a single other plus 8, plus 7, plus 10, plus 11 that could have matched against him, and they could have given the 26 and 2 guy a different guy that was like 23 and 4 or something? Just a bit of a fairer matchup. That's a fair matchup there. That's a fair matchup as well. That's a fair matchup relatively. That's also a relatively fair matchup, as is that. As is that. That's a plus 12 against a plus 18. That, again, is too far for me. 6 is just way, way too deep. Funnily enough, the plus 12 won the game. Although 13 and 1 is a great record, and 20 against 2 is a great record. So in that regards, I actually think the matchup was probably ended up being a fair matchup, but just by happenstance. 15 against 13, that's fine. Perfect there. Perfect there. In general, you can see EA have got it pretty much spot on. In regards of form, there are some anomalies out there, and that does suck, but it seems like you're going to swing a maximum of 3 or 4 games up or 3 or 4 games down. This guy's a plus 15 against a plus 16, which isn't too bad. Plus 17 against a plus 20, that's not too bad. Plus 12 against plus 14. Now, this kind of record does make me think that this is why the form method is a bit wrong. Because let's say we are going up or down 3 each way. This guy is plus 14 on the left, and this guy's plus 12 on the right. Now, plus 14 versus plus 12 is actually a relatively fair matchup in terms of form. But a guy that's 15 and 1 should not be playing against a guy that's 16 and 4, because they are quite clearly mismatched. And that's why the form system is just bonkers. Because once again, you could have a guy, now let's say the swing could be up to 5. You could have a guy that is 10 and 5, which isn't a great record, but isn't a bad record. So he's plus 5. He could play a guy that's plus 10. So he could play against a guy that's 10 and 0. So he's 10 and 5 against a 10 and 0. And this is exactly what I was just explaining. You've got a guy that's plus 9 against a guy that's plus 11, which in EA's mind is a fair match in terms of form. This is not a fair matchup. A guy that is 14 and 5 should not be playing against a guy that's 11 and 0. I mean, there's another big anomaly. 28 and 1 against a 10 and 2. That's bang on fair. That is within the scope, I guess, of like a plus 3, plus 4. And that's probably how the guy that sniped me ended up matching me, because he was 4 more than I was. So I think like 4 wins seems to be the scope of where it goes. But even that, like I say, that in itself, I don't necessarily think is right or fair, because I've got 9 games to go. If I continually hit people or if I hit 2 or 3 people that are plus 4 or plus 5 on me, I'm going to take 2 big losses in a row. And then my form hasn't dropped considerably enough to the point where I'm going to now get easy matches for playing against people unfairly above my kind of play grade, supposedly. Alternatively, what am I? I'm plus 11 right now. I might end up picking up a couple of plus 6s. And if I get a plus 6 that's like 18 and 12, that is an unfair matchup. So I don't know. I don't like the form system. This video is going to be way, way too long now, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on how form works and whether it should be the method that we have. I would love to hear from EA on it as to why they have it instead of... I don't even know. There's not even... For the way Foot Champs is, because it's based on wins under a number of games rather than skill... there is no fair way to match people in FUT Champs. It is just a cluster truck. This is going to be the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to leave a like, rating, comment, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But for now, guys, I'm out. Peace.